Hey! Everybody get up! Everybody get up! Yeah, welcome to Anita Aguirre Rise. All right, everybody. Welcome. It's Anita Aguirre Rise. Anita Aguirre Rise. Yeah. Anita Aguirre Rise. Yeah. Anita Aguirre Rise. Yeah. Who can make it better? Anita Aguirre Rise. In all types of weather, Anita Aguirre Rise. Get you back together, Anita Aguirre Rise. Go send her a letter, Anita Aguirre Rise. Anita Aguirre Rise. Anita Aguirre Rise, yeah. Anita Aguirre Rise, yeah, yeah. Anita Aguirre Rise.
Welcome to Rise with Anita Vita. I am your host, Anita Vita, Master Medical Qigong teacher and healer. And I'm so grateful and thankful for you to be here. I am so excited. Can you feel my excitement? To introduce a dear soul sister of mine, a dear friend. She means so much to me, and a lot of the courage and the listening that I've learned from her is really what brought me and helped in the stepping stones in me creating this show. So she is a super mama, an embodied coach. She is one of the most amazing women in my life that I have ever met, and I can't wait for you to get to know her. So let us give a warm welcome to Miss Angela Aguirre. Come on down, sister. Where are you? Where are you?
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi, soul sister. Feeling the love.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. Thank you for that warm introduction, too. The
You're most
feelings are
welcome.
mutual. Mm-hmm.
You're most welcome. Please let everybody know how amazing you are and how beautiful you are, and just what's top of heart and top of mind for you today.
Top of heart is how nourished I feel plugging into supportive relationships. I feel the gratitude, in receiving your introduction, plugging into the gratitude that I have relationships that are reciprocated in that way, where there's mutual support and celebration and really holding space for the roller coaster that life can be. So I top of heart is gratitude, and gratitude with supportive relationships, especially sisterhood. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us the journey behind that? You use nourishing, as a word a lot, and as talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think a lot of women really understand what that entails and what it means. So can you share a little bit about that?
I would say nourishing to me is a reminder that we're not supposed to do life alone. And I say this from experience of defaulting. A default way of my coping, the way I used to cope, was to handle life, survive life, manage life on my own. I don't need your help. I can do it. I've got it. I had that survivor mentality. I think just from an early age of parents divorcing, moving to a different state for high school, that resiliency. But then it had a little bit of an edge to I don't need anyone. I can manage. I can take on life. And that is more a way of surviving instead of really thriving. And it wasn't until later in my 20s that I realized that I really need connection, deep connection. And the way to get deep connection is to walk through vulnerability and to let people see you, not in your perfection, not in you managing and handling life like a boss mom or, all these memes and catchphrases that we have, super mom, super woman, powerhouse, all these things. But for someone to see you in your growth, in your vulnerability, in the tender spots. And I found that in letting people in, especially friends, not just intimate partners, I felt more nourished. And so that became a focal point of my healing and my journey. And now that's what I teach. And I really live by that maxim: you teach best what you most needed to learn. And so that was me in my teenage years, in my 20s. And now that's what I teach and offer, is ways to come together and connect.
What is one of your favorite ways to connect? Because I know through your whole journey, and fun fact, you guys, I discovered Angela through her blog. She's an amazing writer. I can't wait for her book to come out. And in following it, I was just really taken aback about your story, because she does share vulnerability there. She does share vulnerability there. And I know it has opened you up into now creating these beautiful women's circles that you create, and leveling up the meaning of what sisterhood is about. Mm-hmm. And so thank you for that, because it has helped me, connect with you. And I don't even know, I stopped counting how many years now we've been connected, and now we get to collaborate and create so much more good in the world together.
Yes.
So in your journey in vulnerability, what did that entail for you? What's the defining moment with being vulnerable, and now exercising that in your own life, and now teaching it to your clients, your students, and anyone who comes in contact with you?
I love that question, Anita. And, I want to thank you, because you have been a person in my life that always reminds me of where I've started. And we need people in life like that to, remember the perspective of how much we've grown. And so in just your question and acknowledging, that I used to have a blog, and then I wrote about my life and about what was vulnerable at that time, you're reminding me of where I started. So thank you for that question. And my answer would be to the defining moment of what really got me out of my comfort zone. I mean, as I shared, it was like opening up with friends. And at that time, my boyfriend, who ended up becoming my husband, but to up level and to really get me out of my comfort zone, it was writing and publishing it. And at that time, I put some YouTube videos on that were housed on YouTube, but then on my blog, stating out loud, in this public forum, that I was looking for my passion, for my purpose, that I didn't have all the answers, that I didn't know what to do, that it was hard for me to accept the help of my boyfriend, then fiance, soon to be husband, because I was so used to, nope, I got it. I can manage. I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to be let down. I could do it. And so when I put it in a public forum, that was confronting for me. And it took courage. But through that, I was like, I had people that reached out and said, I can relate. I had friends that saw those posts that now reached out in a deeper way of just acknowledging, hey, that took a lot of courage to post that, or I really appreciate what you shared and how you're showing up. And so even though I wasn't looking for validation of what I was going through, what I found was deeper connection, and it encouraged me to keep going. And then I became certified as a life coach and went through, healing on my own, and knew that these tools and this way of healing worked and could hold that space for clients. And then to lead it into what you just mentioned, which is my favorite offering that I do, is the Women's Soul Circles. That came about when I became a mother, and a new threshold for healing and stepping into something. So here's this role of motherhood. It was very important to me. And again, trying to manage it all on my own, and being stressed about breastfeeding and the learning curve and lack of sleep, and really trying to manage parenting when really we have to remember to provide for ourselves so you don't experience burnout or depletion. And so I asked for help, but what I noticed is that I needed the help and the support of more women. And so I worked with a peer coach of mine who is an empowered mother coach. Her name is Carrie Azuma. And in that, I discovered I wanted to do an offering where women would come together, and I would teach how to hold space in this concept of listening deeply. What you see, what you hear, letting someone have their authentic expression. Because what I needed in that period of my life was, I didn't need someone to give me advice. I didn't need someone to help me. I needed someone to just witness me and to hold space. And what I found in offering these circles now, that was like 4.5 years ago, is that what we all need, is to be seen and to be heard and know that our authentic expression matters. And in that, there's a feeling of liberation and ease and lightness. And oftentimes you don't need anything like any advice or coaching. It's just that community and that connection and knowing you're not alone.
I relate 1,000% to what you had just said, especially when you said the word witness.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, every woman wants to be seen, wants to be heard, wants to be acknowledged, right? And not necessarily given the 5 steps and strategy to, move through those feelings, especially when it comes to our emotions. Yep. And I'm so grateful to be there as one of like the founding members. Yes. Every time I actually reached out to Angela, I was like, hey, what's going, the moment she got certified as a coach, I was like, hey, are you offering anything? Do you do anything? And you're like, get on my newsletter. And the first live offering I actually ever went to was a collaboration with you and Tiare, where you did core values exercise, and she did the visual part with the dream boards at a dance studio out in North Hollywood, I think, or Studio City. And then I just like really fell into this essence of Angela. And if you guys were watching her, you can just see why I'm so in love with my friend. Like, she's just so beautiful. Like, her soul just really shines through when you meet her. And she's one of the most present people on this planet that I know of. And I learned, and that's how you do it, right? When you find somebody that you admire, you start to model, you start to emulate them, and you start to model. She inspired me to start running, and it was a dream of mine to run with her team. When at the time, Nike was sponsoring a lot of the runs, and I manifested that. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on their team. Her husband, Eric, would have run a Vice team, every year to run in Vegas at night. And I had a chance to experience that. So I thank you. And in this time that we've been building our relationships and our friendship, the women's circle really opened me up to that. First off, I was like one of the worst listeners ever. You can ask people like my family, even like, Anita, you never listen. And so because I found that quality in Angela, I was like, all right, let me practice this skill. I have to get around people who have these qualities and these skills so it would up-level me. And now here we are, because I've started through your women's circle. And through that, I've met so amazing, beautiful women. And most of them, you guys have been on my show already too. Yeah. So tell us the journey behind and the inspiration behind your women's soul circles.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Anita. I will share that in receiving your kind words and your reflection, that is something important that the Women's Soul Circle, and also when I'm coaching, helping women to receive that quality of attention, and to know that we can and we should receive as generously as we give. And it's a practice, right? Because it can feel as nerve-wracking to be like, oh, they're like giving me attention, whether it's the eye contact with the words and with, appreciation, and not dismissing it, and not, it's a gift when someone gives you that attention and the words, just as you did to me. And it is a practice in receiving. So that is something in the Women's Soul Circle, and that I feel is very important to teach women. Receive as generously as you give. It's very important. And another core concept in the Women's Soul Circle is to share your authentic experience, whatever it might be. And as you've experienced in attending multiple circles, as women, sometimes we're just playing the middle C note on a piano. Like, I'm okay. It's okay. No, it's okay. I don't need help. No, I'm okay. It's okay. How are you? I'm good. and it's just like this flat answer of like, everything is okay, middle of the road, like spectrum. You're not going to go into like how happy you are, or that you might be falling in love with someone, or that you just got a, big promotion. And you're not going to go into that you are experiencing burnout, you are feeling apathy, you are feeling depressed. So oftentimes we are suppressing, putting it down. And the Women's Soul Circle, and being, even plugging into supportive sisterhood or supportive genuine connections and relationships, lets out that pressure gauge, because then you can be your authentic self and use the words and say what's really going on in your life. And oftentimes it's like such a relief if you let the other person know, I don't need you to fix, I just need you to hold space. I just need you to see me and to hear what I have to say and to hold presence. And that in itself is such a gift.
Whew, so much wisdom, you guys. I just looking over to the comments. We have some amazing women from our soul circle. I appreciate you, ladies. You're always so supportive. I recognize you and I see you here. Shout out to Audrey. I see Joy. I see also Mama J is on here.
Yay.
and that's what I love, you guys. Like when you stay in community and you nurture the relationships, you have friends for life.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that Angela started off with, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to be alone? Why do you, and I relate to this when you're like, that middle C note, that was me. And I was really good at that. That's my form of numbing. I just be like, I'm good. I'm okay. On the outside, I'm an athlete, so I can turn off those buttons of mine to be vulnerable. You just stay, right? You just stay on a structure. And when the moment you get into these circles, let me tell you, in my experience, you are challenged. Especially if you're a doer and very masculine like me, you're challenged to soften. You're challenged to open up as well and be vulnerable. And I love that Angela always leads with, there's so much power in giving. When you share your story, if you feel called, she always gives that option, as well as to just receive and listen. And when I posted, I don't know if you guys have been following me on Instagram or Angela on Instagram, I posted a throwback video of us out in New York City for a girls' trip. And I went last minute too when she invited me.
In 2018.
And that was, yes, 2018. And it was at the School of Womanly Arts by Mama Gina. So if anybody knows about Mama Gina, she is like the mother of divine femininity. I think she's retired her program. I haven't been following lately. Maybe she's revamped it, but the live program is no longer available. And when we were there, it was just, with 900 women, you can just feel the energy of, I can't, it's safe to be me. Like, you're feeling a ton of emotions, and similarly, when you go to your circle, I bet in my head, when I first came, I was always thinking like, first, I'm like, did I wear the right outfit? I was like, am I dressed for what everyone's going to wear today? All these judging stories that we have of ourselves. Am I going to make friends? Are people going to like me? It feels like going to a new school and you guard your heart, right? And this side of yourself, you're just like, what am I doing in this room full of women? Because I wasn't used to that. I didn't even know about women's circles. And frankly, the ones I knew of, it was just like too out there for me. Like when you go into the woods and you do seances or a ritual, I didn't even know about that. There's just other ways to do it. And what I want you to kind of share is, when a woman attends one of your women's circles, what are they to expect? What are they to experience? Yeah.
I appreciate you pointing out a lot of I think that's a mutual feeling of nervousness. Like, well, do I have to speak? What am I getting into? Your honesty and candid share on, like, am I wearing the right thing? Like who's going to be there? And I do feel like it does have that nervousness of attending a new school and being the new student in class. What I would share is afterwards, I hope, because it is my intention, it's the quality by which I hope that women feel when they leave. It feels like you just attended a slumber party. When you had like your best friends over at your house growing up, maybe like when you're like 7, 8, or maybe in high school, and you had your girlfriend sleep over and you paint your nails and you talk about your feelings and who you have a crush on, and you feel close. I just have a brother. So my girlfriends in middle school and high school were like my sisters. And that is my hope. And that's the quality I have of the energy I hope to create, that this is a safe and sacred place. You can show up and be yourselves, your authentic selves. There's no pressure to speak. Yet in watching another woman open up, or myself, because I always open with what's top of heart and what's going on in my life, you are able to see someone model what it is to be courageous, what it is to be to walk through vulnerability, and the shifts that you see, like the light. Maybe their voice is shaky in the very beginning, introducing their name, but by the end of their share, they look lighter. They're smiling. Their eyes are welling up with tears of happiness and release, and just being witnessed and giving it to the circle. And I think that connection is what has fostered this community that I'm so proud of, and that we both belong to and have created, and everyone is collaborating and cheering each other on and holding us to our highest, is this community of like this sisterhood-like community. And that is why I feel there's so many repeat participants. And I also like to share that, especially coming out of the year of 2020, but also in our culture, everything's so fast-paced and everything's a text. We barely call each other anymore, or we text. And if a friend calls, I'm guilty of this. I'm like, why is she calling? Why doesn't she just text me? So having something where you attend in person, that is not only in person, but also very intentional, very like, let's get to the heart of the matter, very endearing. It's so nourishing. And in a fast-paced, technology-based world that we are in, and on top of that, what we went through with 2020, and now we're just getting back into having, social gatherings. It's vital. It's really vital to plug in to in-person, interpersonal connection.
I agree. Definitely. I like that you said vital. Mm-hmm. It is vital to plug into sisterhood. And I'm grateful that you're launching them back up again, and that I got to be a part of like your latest one, which was a retreat out in Malibu. Yes. That was so beautiful to be a part of your team and just like really bring the vibe out there with 50 plus women. Yeah. And I just witnessed your growth, sis. And, now, from all the times that you're thinking back, reflecting back from the time that you created this circle to now, what has been your greatest lesson as a teacher?
I'm not sure if it's a lesson as much as the greatest joy is that, and I say this often, it's such an honor to do this work and to witness healing and to be a facilitator of it. I'm not even the cause of it. I'm not coaching. I'm not, sometimes there's like a workshop piece or a prompt that we're answering, or I'll bring some kind of somatic work, like an embodiment piece into the circle. But watching women soften, watching women step into their power, into their voice, watching relationships form, having you on my team when I needed help, and then being there for you, like being here on your show, or, for when you hosted live in person things, having that support, seeing the relationships, and seeing women really step into their power and their creativity and their voice, that it's such an honor. So it's not so much a lesson as it's just a constant reminder to keep doing this work. And it's nourishing. It doesn't burn me out. It continuously nourishes me. And I think that's why there's that respect piece of like, this is an honor to do this work.
Definitely an honor to do this work. Even when it's challenging, even when it's hard, I commend you for just continuing on the path and refining every step of the way, knowing that it's needed and it's your calling. Now, with that said, how do you thrive? What does thrive mean to you, and how do you thrive in your life?
I love that this is your topic for July. I would share that thrive, to bloom, to grow, to me is to be in nature, to connect with nature, and sisterhood, to have supportive relationships. And I would share that, especially in the year that we had of all that was 2020 and, that we're still going through and many people are still going through, to remind ourselves how important it is that we heal in connection. We're not meant to do it alone. And there is a huge multi-million-dollar industry called the self-help industry. And there's self-help books. There's all these online seminars and, downloads that you can have online. When you really connect with someone in person or call a friend and sincerely and genuinely ask, like, hey, can I talk to you about something, and open up, and then do that for someone as well. That's true healing, because our relationships show us, they reflect to us who we are and where our blind spots are, and also remind us of our growth and what to celebrate, because sometimes we're not even celebrating our milestones because we're so busy, handling life. So we heal in connection. That is so important. And that's been something that is a constant thing that I always talk about. And especially coming out of the year that we had, like, we need to process what we went through and could still be going through. And in order to progress, we need to process it. It's not, let's get back into normal. It's what's your new normal, and what did you go through, and to really embody and to like let those emotions go. But you have to acknowledge them first.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I like that I love that your definition of that is to just to like allow it to be, that
yes,
that there's just more being rather than doing. Mm-hmm. And I admire that in you, and I see that in everything that you do. And when you mentioned milestone, I actually thought of one of your greatest achievements, and it's still going, is your Mile a Day challenge.
Yes.
Because when I did it, okay, I know she'll share the story around this. So when I did it with Angela, I only made it to 44. For whatever reason, I stopped at 44, but I celebrated that. But tell everybody, Angela, how many days you've kept to the Mile a Day challenge commitment.
I want to tell you that I commend you for your 44 days. So you don't have to say I only made it to 44. Doing something consecutively for 44 days in a row, which is running a mile minimum every single day. And for you, 44 days in a row is an achievement. And I have been doing it I actually know what today's number is because I posted it on my Instagram, 1,333 days. So just to put in perspective, it will be 4 years on November 6th because I started it in 2017. So November 6th will be 4 years of running a mile minimum. Sometimes I'll do, 2 miles or a 5K, but a mile minimum every single day, and really developing the muscle of consistency. And it teaches everyone something different. And I love that it's created this movement and this community, again, a community around growth mindset and really prioritizing your self-care, because working out is self-care, getting in your body, especially when you're intentional about it. And I'm doing this to be healthy. I'm not doing it to manage my weight. I'm not doing it to manage some goal that's like, I want to fit in these jeans by summer. I get it. We all do that. But when you're really providing for yourself and have this intention of like, I want to invest in myself. I want to take care of my body. What's something I can do every day as a commitment to myself? And for me, it's this mile every single day. And we live in great weather here in Los Angeles. So I majority of the time I do it outside. If I'm traveling and I do it at a hotel gym, like on the treadmill, then that still counts. But for me, it's taught me to prioritize my self-care. I live by this, like this analogy, like the healthier the tree, the more fruit I can provide. So if I take care of my root system by being intentional about my body, by checking in with my emotional health, my mental health, like what are my thoughts while I'm running? Because I don't listen to music while I run. Then that is a way of doing a deposit in my self-care and gauging how I'm doing and what's going on with my body. And it shows up in other areas of my life. When I develop this muscle of consistency with this physical practice, I also follow through with other commitments. And I also know that I'm capable and able to follow through on anything that requires a daily deposit, a project, a commitment with a person, writing a book, doing the work, following through on my word. It teaches you so much. And for everyone, it's different. So it teaches you whatever it is that you need to learn. But having a daily practice reveals that to you.
I know that you always live by having a daily practice.
Mm-hmm.
And in you sharing that journey with your Mile a Day challenge and now creating a community to do so. And I've been seeing the results of an array of men and women doing it together has just been so uplifting. And I commend you and I celebrate you because that is not an easy practice to do. And I'm just grateful to witness it. And I celebrate you, sis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, what are you up to as an embodiment coach? What are you offering right now? And how can we support you?
Oh, thank you. I would lastly like to share that, embodiment coach, some people out there might wonder what that is. It's being intentional and integrating your body with also what you value, what your commitments are in life. And so that your purposeful work comes from your intuition and your gut that you are doing in life what you're meant to be doing. And so it's not about like figuring it out logistically. And from this rational point, it's like feeling it in your heart space, in your heart center, and your gut, in your sacral chakra. So that embodiment piece is so important. And the daily practice, that full daily practice, helps you to assess, like, am I okay with what I'm feeling today? And it's a great way to gauge how you feel, because how you feel physically is often at times what emotionally is going on. So I always say I'm an embodiment leadership coach because it's not about strategy and trajectory and reaching this linear goal. It's about, am I living the life and doing purposeful work and checking in with making sure I'm all integrated. So mind, body, and spirit are all together. And that's so important. And then to answer the question of where people can find out more, I have an Eventbrite that shows my in-person offerings, and I do a virtual women's circle as well to reach people that can't attend if they don't live in California. And my Instagram is always a place that people can find what offering or when the next retreat is or their next Women's Soul Circle.
So beautiful to have you on here, sis. I can't wait to just see you blossom. I can't wait for our collaborative retreat that's happening
in Hawaii.
December.
In December
I know,
in Hawaii.
I'm already. I can't. It's just been, when I posted that about you on my my Instagram, or really across all my social media, it was my own reflection to see my growth.
Yeah.
And seeing you, because I followed you first as a teacher and then, as a colleague or classmate as we were growing together in former classes together. And now collaborating on these beautiful platforms, because now we get to teach everything that we've learned together alongside of Tiare.
Yeah.
You guys are going to meet her in a few weeks from now. So I just thank you for connecting with me. I thank you for giving so much of your knowledge, so much of yourself and your heart to not only me, but also my community. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. And I love you for coming on to my show today. And like I said earlier, backstage, I was like, I can't wait for more people to get to learn and hear your story, because stories heal. Stories heal, especially when you're willing to be vulnerable and share it with somebody else. So I appreciate you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Anita. You really are a testament to manifesting, because you shared earlier that you wanted to get to know me, and you used the word admire. And it's just a testament to show that you wanted to emulate qualities that you saw in me and that you are living and doing now and creating. So we are on parallel paths and collaborative paths now, and it is a true testament to what you can do. And whoever it is that you want to seek to emulate, there are qualities within you that are present that you see in them. And you are a testament to that.
I received that, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Can't wait to bring you back soon again.
I'd love that. I would love that.
Have a beautiful day, sis. See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. I hope you got to really see a side of Angela, that most people often don't see in my eyes, because I've had such a deep connection with her. And that really is the key in having these beautiful connections with other women, is you nurture the relationship. It's not just the longevity of it where you feel forced to stay in friendship, to feel, I know so-and-so X amount of time, X amount of years. Yet, are you nurturing it? Are you checking in? Are you calling each other to grow? I think that's one of the most important things that you can learn from being in relationship, right? Because that takes effort. That takes effort. So I thank you for being here. Before I let you go, I just wanted to let you know that consultations are open again. I have opened up my schedule for those of you who are curious and wondering about how to learn and incorporate medical Qigong in your life to just have a better alignment, to have better centeredness in times of chaos. Direct message me, leave me comments here. You guys have access to all of my social media platforms. And with that said, I look forward to seeing you next week again. As always, I root for your rise. Thank you, guys. Mwah.
I need to be the rise, yeah. Need to be the rise, yeah. I need to be the rise.